The following question is a craft and structure cross-text connections question. These questions are considered relatively rare, comprising approximately one question per module. Sometimes you may not even see this question appear at all in a module, but it's best to be prepared if you do see it. Although digital SAT passages are shorter compared to the paper version, cross-text connection questions are more likely to be longer compared to other types of questions, around 150 words. This is because, unlike any other type of reading question, you are required to compare two texts instead of looking at just one. Therefore, when you see the labels text 1 and text 2, you can automatically assume that you'll be dealing with a cross-text connections question. And so I will now read this question to you. Text 1. In his review of The Great Gatsby, critic H.L. Mencken described the novel as easy and excellent reading. However, Mencken also criticized the book, saying that the character of Gatsby was not believable and that the novel suffered from a lack of unity. Text 2. Despite The Great Gatsby's mixed reception, renowned literary critic Gilbert Seldes argued that Gatsby's larger-than-life personality and his unrealistic dreams are precisely what make him an intriguing and tragic character. Seldes went on to assert that the novel's disjointed structure was an intentional reflection of the fragmented and chaotic nature of the Jazz Age. And now we'll move on to the question. Which choice best describes a difference in how Mencken and Seldes view The Great Gatsby? Choice A. While Mencken agrees with Seldes about the novel's lack of unity, he does not believe this is a strength of the story. Choice B. Mencken indicates that the praise surrounding The Great Gatsby is unwarranted because the novel is fundamentally flawed, while Seldes views the novel as a masterpiece. Choice C. Only Seldes believes The Great Gatsby came across as disjointed or chaotic. And choice D. Unlike Seldes, Mencken did not find the main character charismatic, which negatively impacted the novel. So based on the question, we can determine that we need to identify a difference between Mencken and Seldes's viewpoints. Before diving into the answer choices, it can be helpful to mentally paraphrase or jot down what each text is about. In text 1, we know it is about Mencken's viewpoint. And he describes The Great Gatsby as easy and excellent reading. But then we get to the transition word, however, which signals that there will be a point of contrast. That is something that contrasts that praise. When we read on, we see that Mencken did not view The Great Gatsby as perfect for two reasons. He felt that Gatsby was not believable and that the novel suffered from a lack of unity. That part may be difficult to understand, as a lack of unity can refer to many different things. For instance, is Mencken referring to the plot as lacking coherence, or perhaps he is referring to the themes? However, we are not given additional context, so we can simply paraphrase text 1 in one sentence. Although Mencken views The Great Gatsby as a good read, he has issues with Gatsby and the novel structure. So I'm going to go ahead and put that here. Mencken felt the novel was a good read, but did not find Gatsby believable and felt the novel lacked unity. Okay, so we're moving that here. Moving on to text 2, we can see the focus is on Seldes's opinion. Based on the word argued, we can deduce that Seldes feels strongly about The Great Gatsby. We read on to see that the very 2 points of contention that Mencken had are refuted. For one, Seldes believes that Gatsby's larger-than-life personality, or exactly what makes him unbelievable as a character according to Mencken, is actually a strength because he is seen as intriguing or interesting. Seldes then addresses the second main criticism, which is that the novel's disjointed structure is in fact intentional. So if we were to paraphrase Seldus's view in one sentence, we could say that he believes that what Mencken considers a weakness of the story, Seldus considers it to be a strength. And I'm going to go ahead and put that in here. What Mencken considers a weakness of the story, Seldus considers a strength. All right, so we have both of these paraphrased. So now we can scoot over to the answer choices and see what makes sense here. Again, the question is, which choice best describes a difference in how Mencken and Seldus view The Great Gatsby? And here's choice A. While Mencken agrees with Seldus about the novel's lack of unity, he does not believe this is a strength of the story. Already, this is looking like a pretty good contender. We know from text 1 that Mencken criticized the book, specifically indicating that the novel suffered from a lack of unity. So the word suffered suggests that Mencken does not believe the so-called lack of unity is a good thing. In other words, he does not consider this to be a strength. Now let's consider the other side. Does Seldus consider this lack of unity in the story a strength? Is this addressed in text 2? Let's take a look. Seldus went on to assert that the novel's disjointed structure was an intentional reflection of the fragmented and chaotic nature of the Jazz Age. So according to Seldus, this disjointed structure or lack of unity was very much intentional to reflect the chaotic or frenzied energy of the era. We know from text 2 that Seldus is defending The Great Gatsby and differs from Mencken when regarding the structure of the narrative. So choice A seems like the best choice. However, since we have not gone through the other answer choices, it's best just to mark this with a question mark or some other symbol to indicate that you will circle back to this later. So let's go ahead and review the other choices just to be sure that choice A is really the best choice. Choice B says Mencken indicates that the praise surrounding The Great Gatsby is unwarranted because the novel is fundamentally flawed, while Seldus views the novel as a masterpiece. Okay, so choice B states that Mencken believes that the praise for The Great Gatsby is unwarranted, which means undeserved or unjustified. While text 1 does address Mencken's concerns for the novel, he nevertheless refers to The Great Gatsby as easy and excellent reading. He would not say that if he felt all praise for the novel was undeserved. So we can actually rule this out on the basis that it is just too extreme. So I'm going to go ahead and mark this with an X. Let's move on to choice C here. Only Seldus believes The Great Gatsby came across as disjointed or chaotic. We can actually rule this one out as well because text 1 indicates that Mencken also acknowledged the book had a lack of unity. In other words, that is the same as saying it is disjointed. So I'm going to mark this one with an X as well. And then lastly, for choice D, unlike Seldus, Mencken did not find the main character charismatic, which negatively impacted the novel. So choice D is stating that Mencken did not find the main character, Gatsby, as charismatic, or in other words, charming. This would be an unfounded inference that goes beyond the information provided in text 1. He merely states that he found Gatsby to not be a believable character, which is not the same as being unlikable or lacking charisma. So we can rule out this choice too. So I'm going to put in an X. Now we can circle back to choice A and review that in comparison to the other choices, and we can see that it is a stronger contender than the others. Therefore, we're going to select choice A as the correct answer. And thank you for watching. This example came from our free sample test. available at testinnovators.com/SAT. For more helpful and relevant SAT content, please be sure to like, share, and subscribe. Thanks again for tuning in. Until next time.